feel like a lot of people struggle when working with binary data in n8n. And the goal of today's video is to clear up any confusion that you have. Recently, n8n just dropped a big update when working with binary data where you can access it later on in a workflow, as well as using it in the edit set node. And today we're going to be covering all of those updates. In addition, how do you convert data into binary? How do you go from binary data into JSON, text extraction, working with images and Base64, all that in one video today under probably 15 to 20 minutes. Hopefully it clears up any of the confusion that you guys have. Real quick though, before we jump into n8n, if you guys need any help with your workflows, I am taking on freelance customers. You can find my contact information down below in the description. All right, let's jump into this tutorial. All right, guys, so we're actually going to go through quite a few examples here in today's video. And before that though, I want to go over a few notes that I have for this video, and let's do that. So first, binary data is any type of file data. This could be anything from like images into documents, right? And there's a few different ways that people typically use binary data with an n8n. You can convert the file to take input data and make this output as a file, or you could extract from file to get data from a binary format and then convert it to JSON. Now there's other ways outside of just extract from file. I'll show you guys a few of those today, but those are very common. Additionally, there's a new update that n8n released October 14th on new ways that you could deal with binary data. It was well needed. So I'll be taking you guys how you can grab that. This is just the basic code, right? The node, the item binary, and the binary name. And this will allow you to access your data a little bit earlier. And now it's also in edit set. So a lot of exciting stuff. So first thing I want to do on this side of things is talk about like, how can you get binary data here in n8n, right? There's a lot of different ways. Probably the most common way for me is like on form submission or Google Drive. Now, I just set these as triggers, form submission, Google Drive, right? You can grab Google Drive later on within a workflow. It doesn't necessarily need to be a trigger, but let me show you this on the form submission. So how we can do this is we go over here, we set a field name, and then you go to element type and you look for a file on this side of things. You can specify if you want multiple files or one file. You can also specify what type of file types you want, if it's a required field or not. We'll have a full video talking about file uploads, or not file uploads, but the form here in the future. But let me execute this step and kind of show you how this works. So let me do that. All right, and you can see over here we have file uploader, so you can choose a file. I'm just gonna grab a thumbnail and I'm gonna click submit. And you can see it says form submitted, your response has been recorded. I will close this out. And now what you have over here in the output is that file, right? n8n monday.jpg. It tells us it's a JPEG over here, the file size, the type. And typically, like when you work in n8n workflows, you'll typically see schema, table, JSON. Binary is hidden by default, unless you're working with a binary file. Now there's some attributes associated with this binary file in over here, right? But yeah, we have our binary file on this side of things. And what you can do is view the file, and you can see this is the thumbnail from a video I uploaded today, right? Just, workflow for monday.com on that side of things, right? We go back into binary. You can actually download a binary file directly on that side of things, and it'll download, and you can see n8n Monday like that. So pretty cool on that side of things, right? Google Drive, you can go inside a folder and grab a specific file, right? Download it on that side of things. And you could also use FTP over there. I'm not going to go in too much in depth, but again, there's a lot of different ways that you can bring in files on this side of things. Okay. Next is the extract from file node. I would say like use this when doable. Like it's not always going to be the case. Like if you're working with JPEG images, like doesn't really make sense to extract from the file. But ideally, like one of the most common use cases on this side of things is a spreadsheet of some sort. So I'm just going to look for a spreadsheet, and we're just going to grab this form submission and throw it in. So I didn't even prep this at all, but we're going to try it. All right. So I'm going to execute this step. I'm going to choose file, and let's see if I have a spreadsheet we can use. All right. No idea what this is. It says n8n example XLSX. So I'm going to click this on here. And then you can see we have this as a binary file, right? Since it's a spreadsheet, you don't have the action to view it. Next, what we're going to do is we're actually going to change this from extract from CSV because it's an XLSX file. Make sure you do that. they're a little bit different. And it's the same like if you're going to write some Python code, right? And then we go over here, and then we want to have that says input binary field. The name of the input should have the same over here. Well, you can see this is named binary file. So just make sure you change that up. And I'm going to click execute step. And you can see what we have over here is this spreadsheet, right? It's companies, founders, year founded, and then the industry associated with it. So we have taken this, right? And you can see we have all this information. We no longer have that fourth input, which is binary, right? Over here, we have the schema table, JSON binary. We have this file, and now we have successfully converted it, right? So I find this really helpful when you're working with spreadsheets in some sort of capacity. But I wouldn't always use this node, right? And why I want to use some other nodes, like we have this one over here from Mistral. And I'm going to cover Mistral here in a future video, but it's really good on OCR extraction. So imagine like you have a PDF and you want to grab the documents from that, or if you want to extract things from an image. Recently, I just used this in a hackathon where we were grabbing specific elements of IDs and using it as part of a workflow, right? But Mistral is really nice on that side of things. And you can see extract text, and you can choose your model and everything like that. So document type or an image, right? Whether you want to put that in here, input type, binary data, or a URL. So what we should do is let's just do this on an image, or actually let's go and find a document and do this on. We'll find like a smaller document and go through this. So we're going to go through the step again and use our form submission just to find a document. All right. So what I did is I uploaded a PDF document, n8n Monday, to Google Drive that I wrote out for a customer. And then what we're going to do is just extract text from this document. So we're going to go over here, extract text. And you'll notice I did get an error, and that's just because of the name on here. I called this data. It's really binary file. So let me just go back over here. And it also mentions like size wise, right? It can exceed 50 megabytes over here and no longer than 1,000 pages. So there's limitations on that side of things. I'll go over here and extract it. And you can see that this is brought into Markdown on this side of things, right? All the information on this side of it, right? I'm not gonna go too much in detail because that'll be for another video. But if you're trying to extract text from like an image or a document of some sort of capacity, right? Mistral is amazing on that side of things, right? And what happens is now you have this output over here instead of the binary file, and you can clean this up in a lot of different ways, right? You can use code nodes. You could send this into a large language model. And the reality is like, this will be much cleaner down the pipeline, right? We're going to keep building this out and go forward. Another thing we can do is actually analyze an image. So again, kind of just going off of this hackathon because we just did it. One of the things we're working on again is documents and specific IDs, right? So one of the things we wanted to take a look at is if an image was in color or if it was black and white. So, I still need to do a lot of research into VLMs, and we're going to cover that probably in the future, like visual language models. But this did an okay job initially on that side of things. Probably not the best approach long term, but you can analyze an image on the side of things with Gemini, right? And what's cool is you go over here, you set up your Gemini account, which I believe is free. Choose a model on the side of things. Sometimes it's a little bit buggy. And then you set up your prompt. So your text input is going to be your prompt. You can actually define also kind of what you want to see as the output through examples. So I'd really recommend doing that, like saying output only, and give that type of example on there. So let's try this with a YouTube thumbnail. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and execute step. Let me just grab a YouTube thumbnail for you guys. All right, so now we have our file in over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to analyze this image. So what we're going to do is use binary files. We're going to grab our name. Again, the name of a binary file is here at the very top. So make sure you use that. So it's called that. And instead of what is this image, I'm going to just specify what are the company logos present in this image. Do like output as schema. Sorry, output as JSON. We'll see if that actually works or not. JSON. We'll say JSON only. Again, just like not a great prompt, but we're just showing you really quick how this works. I'll execute this and we will see what happens. Cool. And then you can see over here, we have JSON, and then we have monday.com, and then also n8n. And again, like if you view this, right, monday.com, and then also n8n. Now, again, you'd want to clean this up, right? You could probably write a better text input over here, or you could send this down the line or clean it up with code, a lot of different ways, but it's pretty cool. It analyzed this image and then it just gave you the information associated with it. All right, so up next, these are the new updates in n8n. So this first one is new type of data entry and set node to assign binary data. So how you can use this is to rename your binary data. And you go to edit fields and you can see over here, we now have this binary data, which is really, really cool, right? Because in the past, we didn't have that. You just had string, number, Boolean, array, and object, but now this isn't present, right? I know a full video on edit fields if you want to check that out. But yeah, so there's that side of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to still keep this binary file on this side of things, and let's just rename it into new image. So what we have over here is binary file. And then what I'm going to do is relabel this. So the name of this image is called binary file. So I just have this over here. We're grabbing this from the on the form submission, right? So what we have over here is on form submission. Now this is on form submission 1. So just make sure that is the same exact thing. So you can see it says on form submission 1, and you'll get this object down below. It says image JPEG, right? Obviously this is a JPEG image, but what you'll see now, if I click over here to execute step, we have renamed our binary file, right? This was binary file, and now this is new image. So really, really cool. On that side of things, again, these are the same exact files across the board. We go back to list over here, and you can see how that works, right? So if you want to rename it, right, you don't like this name, you can go over here to edit fields and work on it. So I think that's pretty nice. Another thing that's new as well is accessing binary data from previous nodes using that expression. So again, let's just go through this example. So what we're going to do is have an edit fields, and I just put over here ID name string tests or testers, right? So when we do that, the binary is gone because we just have this over here. We just created something called ID name. We gave it the value of testers over here, and we can't access this binary data, right? But now, like, let's say we want to edit the image that we had a little bit earlier. Now I need to rewrite this a little bit because we have changed the name on this side of things. And let me just double check the name. It's called binary file. So again, like what node did it come from? On form submission 1, item.binary, and then this was called binary file. So then I can just go over here, execute step, and you can see we have the information over here. And again, viewing it like that. So on the input edit fields, we just had this ID name testers. Our binary file was on form submission, but now we have accessed it in a later node, right? So binary file is here, node binary file, and then we can access our binary file again. And again, just to reiterate how you do this, right? The node, it was referenced, it was initially in .item.binary, and then the name of that binary file. So pretty straightforward on that side of things. Lastly, what I want to talk about, two things. So number one, convert to file node. You take input and then you output this as a file. It's super common to convert to a file of some capacity and then also upload that into Google Drive. So again, like let's say you just have information, right? Like this is very small, but like imagine you have a lot of JSON over here, and you want to convert that into a CSV file and then just upload it into Drive. So you could do that through this path, right? To convert the file and then upload it to Drive. I have a full video also on convert the file, so highly recommend you guys check that out. That's probably gonna be after this in the playlist. And then also what we have over here is Base64. So Base64 allows us to change the format and bring it back to its original format. So this deals typically with images, right? So an API may give you an image as a Base64 file. So you're going to have to convert that over here on this side of things. So on this side of it, right, you're going to see that this is a Base64 string, right? And let's just actually add in a manual trigger. Again, I showed the same exact example in the convert the file video, but you'll see what we can do is pretty cool is we convert the string into specifically an image, right? So we have all of this, and I can't tell you the exact math or science behind it. I've never really read into it, to be honest with you. But we have all that there. And then we want to go over here and convert this into an image. I click execute step. And now, check it out. Beautiful Zermont. So that is essentially it with Base64. Something to look out for, right? You're taking a string and then you're converting that into an image, which would be a binary file here in n8n. So guys, that is binary files, right? I kind of waited to make this video and I lucked out because n8n just dropped a huge update. This thing like helps a ton. Like it used to be pretty complicated working with binary files in n8n. Now that we have this, it's an amazing add, as well as putting this into edit fields. Like that was missing for a while, and it's nice that we can relabel our binary data within on that side of things. But again, there's so much that you can do with files, right? Again, think about like how you can get files in. Probably the easiest is just the form, but you can grab files from like some sort of storage, right? Google Drive. You can also get files technically from an API. Yeah, it just showed you like with that Base64 example, right? You would have to convert it over. Extract from file, right? So if you have a file and you want to convert it out, I use this with CSVs or XLSX. Over here as well, right? You can use Mistral if you're trying to grab text from like a document or an image. You can use Gemini to analyze an image and see what is going on. And then I showed you over here, you could access a binary file a little bit later or in this edit fields. And, converting the file, typically if you have something you want to convert into a file, you use the convert to file, and then you can upload that into a drive of some capacity. And again, our Base64. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're grinding out these n8n and AI videos right now. Doing 3 to 5 videos a week. It's a lot of effort. So if you guys find value, make sure to subscribe. Check out my n8n playlist. We're over 40 videos now, and I will catch you guys in another video.